G'day and welcome to my channel Travel with Tegan. I'm Tegan Marshall and I'm super passionate about helping women in their 40s and 50s to create a lifestyle of full-time travel without using your savings, without having to go without anything and without having to become an influencer. So if that sounds like something that interests you, be sure to click on the subscribe button and click the little bell so you don't miss out on any of the content. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 52 ways that you can fund that full-time travel lifestyle. And so let's get into it. Welcome to 52 ways to fund your full-time travel lifestyle when you're in your 40s and your 50s. Without having to use your savings, without having to go without anything, without having to become an influencer, and without having to wait until retirement. So my name's Tegan Marshall from Travel with Tegan, and together with my husband in 2016 we quit our normal and decided to buy a one-way ticket around the world, and we've been travelling successfully since then, and it's been the best decision we've ever made. Now we want to help other people to realise that this is even possible, and today we're going to talk about the ways that you can do that. So there's 3 steps to being able to travel full-time around the world. One is the will to do it, actually wanting to do it. The second is the means to do it. And the third is the courage to do it. So today we're going to talk about the actual means to do it, and I'm going to give you 52 ways that you can do it. Please, 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 please don't wait until it's too late. If anything has taught us in these last couple of years, it's actually to make the most of the present moment, because you just never know what's coming around the corner. Today we're going to talk about 52 legitimate ways that you can make money online so that you don't have to use your savings. And one thing to remember is that the best time to do it the best time to start is actually now. So let's get into it. There's 3 different categories that I'm going to take you through today. One is about starting a business, one is purchasing a business, and one is if you're a current business owner. So those are the 3 different ways that you can create an income to sustain a full-time travel lifestyle. We've got 52 of them to get through, so let's jump into it really quickly. One of the things to remember as we go through this is that you're not going to need as much money as you currently need now to sustain your lifestyle, because a lifestyle of full-time travel is very different. It's a lot less costs than actually, and I mean doing it comfortably, right? We travel, business class on most of the long hauls and things like that. So there's a way to do it. There's ways to do it, and you can check my other videos in regards to that sort of side of things. But you won't need as much as you actually think you will. So keep that in mind as we go through these different income streams. Something else to remember is none of these are, get-rich-quick schemes or anything like that. It's very much about, everything takes work. I'm very much about lifestyle and balance, so I don't believe in working 100 hours. I used to do that in my career, my corporate career. I don't want to do that anymore. So it will require work, so it's not just a matter of, sitting back and doing nothing. It's a matter of, these are legitimate businesses that you grow, and, that's what they're all about. So the first one is starting a business. So the thought of starting a business can be intimidating. However, with the right advice and a good dose of determination, anyone can succeed in business. And I've started several successful businesses in my time, as well as working in the corporate. And so it just takes consistency and a few other things. But you can look at my other videos for that. So let's look at starting a business and the different ones that you could do. The first one is a freelancer. So if you are currently, a consultant of some sort, or you have, you don't get to our age without a certain level of expertise. So if you've had a decent career in a certain, field or something like that, you could always become a freelancer. So there's literally hundreds and thousands of businesses that need, freelancers that are, that have different skill sets. So you could take your skill set, like as marketing, for example. If you've been working in marketing, you could become a freelance marketer, and think about how you can take your skill and your role and turn it into, a freelance role instead. Another one is becoming a virtual assistant. So this is great for people that are really good at admin, really good at being organised. They're the sort of people that friends you love to have that help you organise birthday parties and stuff like that. So if these are skills that you have, it's very easy to become a virtual assistant with that skill set. And there's lots of different support tools out there for you to do that. You could become a coach, so taking your skill and adding a qualification to it, you can become certified as a coach, and you can have lots of different coaches. There's life coaches, the main most popular ones, but there's also health coaches, music coaches, financial coaches, executive coaches, business coaches, so many travel coaches now, all these sorts of things. So there's lots of different fields that you can take your expertise and put them into and become a coach in that field. You could teach fitness or dance if those are the skill sets that you have. And this one I put in there because it's a little bit different. Fitness, most people have thought of, but dancing online, I think the last couple of years and all the different lockdowns have taught us that that's actually now possible. So, you could teach yoga, you can teach Pilates, you can teach weights or, fitness, dance and martial arts, like all these different fields, all these different types of dance. Like I'm looking at taking on salsa and learning that online. So these are all the different things that have now opened up. So that's another thing another business that you could start if you've got that skill set. You could become an affiliate marketer, and this is where you promote other people's products. So they may be products online, or they may be physical products, or they may be courses or something to that effect, and you then get a commission for actually promoting those people's products. So this is where you need to be good at promotion, so to speak, but you don't necessarily have to be good at all those businesses. You just need to partner with really reputable companies, and you can become an affiliate marketer. Another one that's a little bit similar to that is dropshipping, where you can set up like the front of shop, so that would be online, like a website or something to a shop front, an e-commerce shop. And you can actually link that to a company that provides the products. So you don't have to worry about, deliveries or anything like that. And that actually, you get the orders and they go through and you never even see any of that. They handle all the customer service and everything like that. So you're literally just the front of the shop. And that's called drop shipping. So that's something that you can do. Another one is you can become a writer. So I know a friend of mine, she was a friend of hers was a principal of a school for many, many years, and she just wanted to change her lifestyle and start travelling full time while she was still young enough to enjoy it. And she actually became a writer, and she now has pieces published. She became a travel writer. She also, I have another friend who's a writer, and she specialises in vet industry. And so whatever your passion is, if you have that experience of English and writing and you love it, then you could become a writer. Another thing is you could become a blogger or a vlogger if you don't mind being on camera. And trust me, if I can be on camera, anyone can, because it's not my favourite thing. But you could become a vlogger or a blogger where you create, blogs and information, and you share information on a particular topic that you love. And you'll hear that throughout. Like I always come back to do what you love, do what you're interested in. And if you don't know what that is, start with something and start with one of these and it will evolve. You don't have to know all the answers straight up. So you can become a blogger or a vlogger on a particular product or service or industry or niche that you really, really love. Another thing you could do is if you really love photography, like I love photography, but it's not something that I kind of really sell anything with. I just love taking photos. But you could actually turn that into a business where you actually sell those photos, because there's a lot of what's called stock photo stores where people purchase those photos to use on their websites or in their products or in their promotions. So that's what you could do, is sell your photos. And yet you don't get a lot for it, but if you sell enough of them, that creates a nice little income for you. Or you could actually become a location photographer. So if you do love photography, you could become a location photographer where as you travel around the world, our way of traveling is to take 1 to 3 months in each location. So you could set up a little promo in that area, at the next place that you're going to, and set up some jobs where you photograph, or you could do it in reverse and offer yourself as someone who photographs people on location throughout the world, and you go to the locations that they want to go to. 2 different options there that you could actually start. Another along those lines is a videographer. So if you really love taking videos, I much prefer to be on the other side of the camera. So if you really love, taking videos and creating videos, there's a huge industry out there at the moment because video is the in thing, that people love watching video. YouTube's growing rapidly. So you could help people to create those really fantastic videos. Another one that you could do is create courses. So take that knowledge that you have of how to do things. Like a friend of mine used to be a recruiter, and she has this fantastic depth of knowledge that she could actually turn into courses of how to, find the career of your dreams, how to, show up for an interview, how to, present yourself, how to prepare for an interview, those sorts of things, how to choose the right career. She can create courses on all of those things that are going to help people, and you can sell those, and there's different platforms you can sell them on. Another one is odd jobs and tasks. So there's a platform called TaskRabbit, which has tons and tons and tons of just little odd jobs. And you can find these different odd jobs and present yourself as the person that can help that person with them. So that one can, help you out in so many different ways of you clarifying what sort of things you love to do while you're helping other people to get these things done. The possibilities literally are endless with that. You could be a tutor, so you could be a tutor in like English, you need a degree for that, but pretty much any degree for that. Maths, music, language, so many different ways that you can actually be a tutor. And as the schools and everything like that, through the COVID lockdowns, I think a lot of parents really learnt the value of having tutors and having really good ones, so that they help their children in their careers. You can become a speaker. Now, this is online as well. You can become a speaker online through different, speaking platforms and so on, speaking at summits and speaking in podcasts and things like that. The higher end ones will actually pay you for that. And so you could become a speaker on particular topics, and so that's another option for you. And then once the world opens up again, I know that there are currently some retreats in different places being created at the moment. You can be a speaker in those retreats, and that's how you can get to put your speaking to the travel as well. You could become a travel planner and help people to actually plan out their travels. This is going to become really important in the years to come, as we need to, especially as the world opens up again. So that people are needing to a lot of help to understand how they get there, what requirements are there, what countries are open, how to book it, all the cancellation policies, all the different things, so that they're protected if things change, because it's going to be a constantly changing platform. So you can become a travel planner and help those people. Another one is an online event planner. So there's actually a lot of events happening online thanks to the restrictions, and so then once the world opens up again, you can then take that to an actual event planning lifestyle as well around the world. But for now, you can create online events and help people to create those online events, online summits, online retreats. There's so many different avenues for that. So that's something, if you've done a little bit of event management, even if it was in, as a side thing, in the role that you had, you just happened to be good at it and someone handed it to you. It's like, great, Mary over here is going to handle all the, events as we create them because she just seems to be good at it. Then turn that into an online business and make an income so that you can travel the world. Artists. Now, I used to think that artists couldn't actually travel until I met an artist that travelled, and she actually created different locations where she would show her art in different places, and that enabled her to travel to the different locations throughout the world. And she went to all different locations, from South America to Asia to all these different places, Europe and everywhere, where she would present her art. And of course everything was a tax deduction, which is really handy. So cost her even less. So she would actually travel with her art. So you can still become an artist. She actually had her art stored, and she had someone who would send her art. She would travel with some of it, and they'd sort of organise it that way. So you could become do that as well. Also, yeah, I've met 2 artists in our travels. So yeah. House and pet sitting. We actually do house and pet sitting, but we don't charge for it. But there are a lot of people who charge for it, and they do really, really well for it. I was just talking to a friend the other day, and she charges, well and truly plenty of money per day for people to actually, for her to go there to care for, walk the dogs, make sure the house is okay, for her to stay over. It's a different rate. So there's lots of different options there that you can create, and lots of different options even now as we speak, as the world's opening up. It's lots of different options for you in people travelling in their own country, and then when the world opens up, even more travelling in other places. Public relations. So if you've been a journalist or an editor and you've worked with different publications, then you might like to start a PR company. And these are really great places because, there's a lot of companies and people that need these public relations people. So, if you've got that experience, then you can turn it into a business and put your skills out there to help people to be seen in the world. And as it gets harder and harder, your role becomes even more and more important. A bookkeeper, if you've had a role as a bookkeeper previously, or if you're really good with numbers and you have a knack of doing your taxes and things like that. You can't actually do taxes as a bookkeeper depending which country you're in. Some countries you can, some countries you can't, so check that out. But you could do this all online. It doesn't have to be in person. Even people can send you their receipts no matter where you are in the world, and you can go through them, whichever country you're in, and sort that out for them. So you could become a bookkeeper. Another one is a CV writer and mentor to help people actually get jobs. And once again, that's going to become really, really important in helping people to get back into the world of working and jobs and things like that as the world opens up again and changes. So becoming a CV writer and a mentor is another option. That if you've been in recruiting, this might be something that you might like to help people, and you can add lots of different things onto their different courses, as I mentioned before. Or you might like to become a recruiter. I mentioned that my friend was helping. She created courses. That was the way she wanted to do it, because she wanted to get out of recruiting. She wanted to help people on the other side of it. So but she could have become a recruiter, because it can all be done online these days. Another one is network marketing. So as much as I don't really promote sort of these sorts of things, there are so many different industries out there where you can become a network marketer, and there's nothing wrong with it. If some people are really, really good at it, and if you choose a product that you're really passionate about, I think that's the most important thing. And there's so many ways to do really well. You could become an Airbnb consultant. A friend of mine has made well over 7 figures in her Airbnb, and she's now an Airbnb consultant. So it's something that's really, really important, because if you have an Airbnb, a house that you're Airbnb-ing, then knowing how to get the most out of that is worth paying someone to do. So an Airbnb consultant can help you make it look right, help you set up with the promotion, and make sure that you're going to get the most income from that Airbnb or Airbnbs if you have a few of them. Music and video editing. This is one close to my heart because I am rubbish at video editing. But if that's something that's you've done on the weekends or something like that, then you might like to turn that into a business in music editing or video editing. And as video grows and grows in popularity, this is something that's really becoming popular. Voiceover artist, another really important one to do for like podcasts and promotions and things like that. So if you have one of those memorable voices, then can be used in different ways, then that's a fantastic thing to invent. You don't even really need a memorable voice. There's so many different voiceover options that people need, and there's different ways that you can set that up, for YouTube videos, TV productions and commercials. You could become a model and travel the world that way. So there's so many, and yes, I'm talking your 40s and 50s, and this is something that is one of my fear things that I want to overcome, is I wonder if I could ever become a model. Oh my goodness. But the world is full of advertisements of people of all different ages, shapes and sizes, which I love the fact that it's starting to become that way. I'd like to see more of that. So you could become a model and travel the world that way, doing different shoots in different locations and so on. Stock market trader, from one extreme to the next. So you could be actually become a stock market trader and trade online. That gives you a lot of flexibility and freedom. If it's something that you've enjoyed, perhaps you've done it on the side. If not, there are courses that you can do that you can actually learn how to do it. A translator, if you're bilingual, then you could actually become a translator, and that's becoming really popular as well, because a lot of people, we get asked constantly in our website business, can you actually create a website that's in a completely different language? And we need translator to do that. So people are now, the world's opening up to them, and so they need their websites translated into different languages. A graphic designer, so if you've always loved being creative, you could do a course and add that to your certification and add that to your passion. You could create logos, websites, flyers and all sorts of different things. My mum, actually in her 70s, she actually did a graphic design course because she just really loved creating. So there you go, you're never too old. Social media agency, if you are a whiz and you absolutely love doing social media and you just spend a lot of time there, why not get paid for it? Create a social media agency. And there's so many different courses out there that you can learn more and more skills with that to add to what you already have. And as long as you know more than what the person that you're trying to help, then you can always charge for that. Website development, same sort of thing. There's actually a lot of platforms these days where you don't have to be a coder anymore to create beautiful websites. You can, do different courses and learn how to do that. And you can also, if you're really good at helping people to, create what their vision and putting that online, then that might be something that you'd really love to do. If you're more into SEO sort of the side of things and prefer looking at the numbers, then you might want to become an SEO specialist. Once again, as you progress and you learn more, you can then charge for, people that don't know, and you can teach them how to do it and how to SEO their businesses. Buying and selling domains is actually another one that you can do. Once again, you just need to learn it, and you can learn anything online, and you can then, purchase domains, and there's different ways you can find out the most popular ones and how you can sell them. A data analyst, you can become a data analyst if you have marketing knowledge and really good at an eye for analysing data. Then there's a real need for data analysts to help people to determine, with marketing and things like that. Customer service, if you're really good at customer service, you can do all of that online, and you can provide that as a service to people, either companies, or you can do it your own for individual different companies, smaller companies, large companies, be part of a team. You no longer have to be, in an office, in a hub of a city to actually do that. A business plan writer, if you're really great at helping people to take their ideas and turn them into an actual business plan so they can make it happen, then that would be something that you could do as well. And you could, choose a niche industry and be a specialist in that industry. So that gives you a few of the ideas of how to start a business. Let's jump into buying a business. So, rather than starting from scratch, if you want one that's already established, then this might be something that if you've got, some money that you'd like to put into it, this might be something you'd like to do. So here's a few ideas. You could actually buy a DIY car wash. And this may sound really weird, but car washes, the DIY ones, you only need one person to run it, and that's your cost. Obviously you have insurances and things like that, but they're quite low cost businesses, and they really do create a lot of income. I have a friend of mine who actually has 3 of them and has set his life up very, very well. Another option is like a franchise. So if you don't want to start from scratch and you really want, a proven business method, then franchising is the way to go. And, choosing a franchise that enables you with enough profit margin to have a manager in there to run that, then that's a really good opportunity for you to create income. Remembering also that you don't need as much income as you need now to travel the world full time. Vending machines. These are once again an unusual one where once again all you need is someone to service those vending machines, and they that's pretty much your only cost, along with insurances obviously and product and so on. But that's your only employee. Then that can be quite a profitable venture as well. And of course, with any of these, you have to do your due diligence and really research them. You might like to flip a business if this appeals to you. If you have like SEO experience or something like that, you might like to start a business and there's actually franchises that you can buy into with this. So there's two ways you can do this: either start it or on your own, or actually purchase a business this way. Create a website. So buy a business, create a website for it, or do more SEO for it and actually grow it really, really, substantially, and set it on its trajectory of success and then sell it. So that's flipping businesses, and a lot of people successfully do that. Having an Amazon business is a fantastic option as well. A friend of ours actually, she is a coach and helps people to get their businesses online, start their Amazon business. And it's not just, I'm going to have a product and put it on Amazon. This is creating a proper Amazon business, and you actually buy into it and you set it all up, and it's a reasonable investment, but of course it's got really good returns as well. Airbnb properties. So this is also a business that you can sort of have, and as a franchise kind of thing is you can Airbnb properties. So this is another option for you. It's easy to set up an account, and depends on your property and your location and your photos. So this isn't really a franchise per se, but it is one that you can kind of grow, I suppose, and there's proven methods for it. Okay, what if you're currently a business owner and you don't really want to let that business go, you don't want to sell that business, then these are your different options. So this is a few ideas for you, where if you've got a current business that's doing well, but you want to travel the world full time, or you want to have the freedom to do that, then let's have a look at some of these. So an accountancy firm. So if you currently have an accountancy firm, then do you really need to be there to run that? And this is the scary thing when you've had a business, because we've experienced that ourselves. Having a business with, physical business with staff and everything like that, we couldn't even comprehend it in the beginning, but there is a way to turn it online. And, and so you can either keep your bricks and mortar business, or you can turn the whole thing online and have your staff working from home, and you get to work from anywhere that you want. Legal firms, same sort of thing stands. So, as we move into the world of online more and more, online Zoom meetings and everything like that, there's a lot more flexibility in things like this to be actually created. And a friend of mine actually has a completely online legal firm that she's done really well. I'm really proud of her. She's done amazing things with it. So it is possible. If you're a naturopath, and a client of ours actually has her naturopathy online, and she treats people online with it, and she's managed to set up a way to do that. And I have another client who actually does that as well, where she helps children with anxiety, and she's helping them with their naturopathy. So that's a different way of doing it, but you can actually turn it online. Financial planner. Another client of ours is a financial planner and travels the world and has the freedom to do that because he does everything online. So, with software and Skype and everything, it's now possible. So just got to think a little bit outside the box and look at what other people are doing, and just believe that it's possible, and change the whole normal. Just because it's always been done that way doesn't mean to say that it has to be done that way from now on. Having an online boutique, so if you've got a physical boutique, you could actually close the front shop front of it, or leave it open if you wanted to and have a good manager in there. It's up to you. But you could actually then also have an online side of it, or close the shop front and just have online. A lot of businesses have done that, especially with having to be in lockdown several times. They're kind of like, you know what, let's just do it all online, and they've made the changes, and that's what they do now. You can be a therapist online. So a client of mine, client and friend, she's actually she's a trauma therapist, and she does it completely online. So and as she's managed to help a lot of people in lockdown, which has been a beautiful gift for them. So you can be a therapist online, a counsellor, psychologist. You can also be a physiotherapist online, and again, a client of ours has been at the forefront of moving this industry to online and helping physiotherapists to treat online. So it is possible, and she's done it, and she's just paved the way for so many others who are now doing that. So there is, you do a consultancy online, and then you prescribe different exercises, and so it's possible. Pretty much. I mean, those are a few ideas, and time's getting away from us, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but pretty much any business, like the vast majority of businesses, can either be turned online or your role can actually be created so that you can work from anywhere in the world. Many years ago, I had a chain of businesses that were in the fitness industry, and I had fantastic managers in each of those, and it enabled me to travel, for a few months at a time, and then go back home, check on things, and then off I'd go again. So nowadays, with all this, we're talking 15 years ago or more, 20 years ago, that was way before now, all the different technology that we have now. So we're in the age of technology, so it's really, really worth looking at, thinking outside the box. And just because society has conditioned us to think that we're supposed to run a business this way, or we're supposed to live a certain way, doesn't mean to say that you have to. Now are the times to think outside the box and look at what else is possible. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 20 whatever, in 2016, when we wanted to do this, hardly anyone our age was doing it. And so we had to kind of explore and find our way, and make mistakes so that you now don't have to. So what is the next step? So I've given you 52 different ways to make money online, to create an income so that you can create a lifestyle of full-time travel. So the next step is actually taking action. But you might be sitting there going, oh my goodness, I don't know which one of those is the right one for me. So jump onto my website, teganmarshall.com, and have a look at the different resources there. I offer one-on-one consults, and there's also different courses and groups and things like that. There's free resources for you to help you to find your way. And of course, subscribe to my channel, because I share a lot of the information here, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything as well. So the other way you can connect with me as well is to join my Travel with Tegan Facebook group, and come and join us, because I share there a whole heap of other different things, a lot of inspiration, a boost if a lot of this scares you. I'm there to help you through that as well, and lots of tips and tricks to to be able to make this lifestyle your full-time travel lifestyle, and doing it, as I always say, without having to become an influencer, without having to backpack or go without your creature comforts, without having to use your savings, and without having to wait till retirement. So I hope to see you there. I hope to be able to help you to make this your lifestyle, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you have, share it with friends, and thanks so much for your time. Bye for now.